Let's talk about trigonometry. Okay. Cos of A is equal 0.27. Work out the size of the angle A correct to the nearest degree. So we have cos of A, but what do we need? We need A. How do we get rid of cos? So whether it is cos, sin, or tan, on one side of an angle of the equation, and when any of them we want to take to the other side of the equation, what happens? They become inverse. That means to the power of -1 followed by the number. And then we put that in our calculator, press equal, and to nearest degree, we get that A is 74 degrees. And that's what I'm saying. Whether cos, sin, and tan, the principle is the same. When we take them from one side of the equation to the other side, they become inverse, meaning to the power of -1. Okay, then part B. Olga would like to know the vertical height of the roof of the building. Olga takes the following measurement and shows them on the diagram below, where h is equal dc. So we can see that h is that tiny part of this length. And then we have different measurement. We have one angle 22, we have another angle 29, we have the length 23, and then we are told that this angle is 90. Okay, so we have to use trigonometry to work out the vertical height h of the roof, so that tiny part here. What we have here is very difficult not to see that we have two triangles. So first, let's draw those two triangles with the information that we have, because how are we going to calculate that tiny part C? If I know what is all of that length, if I know what is length of DB, and from that, I take away this length of CB, or BC, therefore, I will be left with that tiny part H. So that's what I need. Now, let's just draw our triangle AB, and this is the smaller triangle C. This angle, the smaller angle, is 22, with this being 23. And then the bigger triangle ABD, with that angle therefore being 29, but this side is 23 again. So like what we said here, I am looking for this side, and here I am looking for this side so that I can find H. So how do we do that? In our maths table, page 16, we have all the three ratios. Where is it? Oh, I bypass it. So there it is, sin, cos, and tan. Well, the question is, which one do we need to use? Well, I need to know what is the A, the B, the A, the C in my own triangle. So we start with a reference angle. That's the angle given to us. Therefore, that angle is A. Side that is opposite that angle, that is small a. Then we have a right angle. The side opposite right angle is C. That means this side is B. Again, look at your maths tables. Angle A, side opposite is A. Right angle, side opposite is C, and therefore we are left with B. So again, in my second triangle, that is my angle A, side opposite is A. This is the right angle, side opposite is C. Well, that leaves me with B. So I want to find, in both of those cases the same, I want to find small a, I have capital A, and then I have small b. So when we go to our table and we look at these three formulas, we are saying, well, which one of them have those elements? Capital A, small a, and small b. So yes, that is tan. So that's how we know to make a choice. So in both of them, we're going to be using tan. Now, we can either change that formula here or when we replace letters, but in both of those cases, we are looking for A, isn't it? Not A divided by B. How do we get rid of the bottom of the fraction? The denominator always the same, by multiplying. and multiplying both sides of the equation, because b divided by b is 1 and 1 multiplied by a is a. So that means in this particular example, my value of b is 23. That is multiplied by tan of what? 22. And that will give me this length BC. And then here as well, again in the second triangle, b doesn't change, is 23. Multiplied by tan, angle changes 29. And that will give me dB. Now, I have option here. I can do this calculation, or I can jump to doing calculation of h straight away. What do I mean by that? So what is the length dB? That's the length dB. So I'm saying 23 multiplied by tan of 29 minus, and then BC, and that is the length of BC, 23 multiplied by tan of 22 equal. We can put all of that in our calculator, press equal, and to one decimal place, we're going to get 3.5. That is that tiny part, 3.5 meters. But work both ways. Do the partial calculation and then sub them in here. You should get the same value, or do it in one go. Both of them are correct.